Yeah, hi everyone. Good evening to you. I'm sure most of the participants here are based in Nepal. So, good evening to you. And thanks to Joy for organizing this and giving me this opportunity to speak about Road to Microsoft MVP sessions. And really glad that we are doing this. So, I think the way I want to do this is because the way we planned this session is to be really open to the questions we might get in these sessions. But meanwhile, as a Microsoft MVP, since I'm also talking about roadmap to a Road to Microsoft MVP program, so I thought maybe I should speak a bit about myself first, so you get a idea of what kind of maybe profile you might need to have to become a Microsoft MVP, or what really it takes to be a Microsoft MVP, what Microsoft MVPs are like, and and so on. So I think that could be a best way. So let me introduce a bit about myself in more detail, and then Jay, as you asked, maybe I will add some context to Nepali Microsoft MVPs as well. Is that okay, Jay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you. So, uh, as I'm saying here, I'm a senior Azure consultant and Centers of Excellence manager at Dogma Group. Dogma Group is headquartered in the UK, and we have a subsidiary office in Nepal as Silogic. I'm, as I mentioned, a Microsoft MVP, Microsoft Certified Trainer, and um, Microsoft Certified in Azure category as well. You can reach me in LinkedIn, of course. You connect to me in LinkedIn, or you can also follow my tweets in Twitter as well. So there can be many ways to connect to me, of course. Uh, so more details of me, I would say I'll give you a bit of my background as well. So it's been about 11 years of journey throughout my entire IT career, I would say, where I started it as a Microsoft student partner in year 2009-10. And then I also led this program as a MSP lead in year 2011 as well. Subsequently, as a while working at Microsoft Innovation Center Nepal for about 8 years, I led Microsoft academic programs, like as a Microsoft academic partnerships lead, where the objective was to also build innovation cells across 100 plus IT engineering colleges in Nepal, including in the cities like Kathmandu, Pokhara, Butual, Chiton, and Birganj. Uh, you know, uh, then I would say one of the thing that I got into the position right now is I not only worked for the clients in Nepal, but also got the opportunity to work with several clients in the US, in the UK, of course, Europe regions, and the way I started working was as a after being an MSP and MSP lead, I started working side by side. I started working in the technical specialist area, where my area was more into Windows Server platform, and I also started working as a technical trainer, mainly in Windows platform evangelism, I would say. But as Microsoft turned into a cloud-first company, I started focusing more into Microsoft Cloud Platform, mainly into Azure and Office 365 services as well. And then slowly I moved into project management, a sort of a program management, which I was already there. But then moving forward, while working with CloudChomp, which is a US-based startup around data center migration and assessment. I moved into product management roles as well. And then as I joined Sealogic and its sister organizations like Series Apps, Dynamics Insights, and now Dogma Group, I'm more into Azure infrastructure management, provisioning, and then I'm also beyond the technical side. I'm also looking after the Centers of Excellence team, where we have team of experts around Microsoft 365, around Dynamics 365, around Office 365, which is now Microsoft 365, and then around Azure as well. So basically, you know, I tend to be on top of these product teams as well. So I would say so what I would like to say here is, while working in the past previous roles, I have gotten the opportunity to work more into the business application side of Microsoft product portfolio as well, which is the Dynamics 365 and Power Platform, which was something I would say missing in my product uh, understanding, I would say. So, so that is the kind of background I have over the last 10 years and 11 years. However, as of now, beyond my normal office hours, I also lead a tech community, which is my Nepal Cloud Professionals, and I'm a regular speaker into this meetups as well. But beyond that, I tend to be speaking on other events, mainly around Microsoft products and technologies as well. So this is about myself, I would say. Uh, I think I would like, before even speak about Road to Microsoft MVP, just wanted to mention that I have so far been able to achieve some of the prestigious Microsoft certifications, uh, including Microsoft MVP Award as well, which is not a certification. Just to be very clear, the Microsoft MVP Award is not a certification, but still, I just mentioned it as Microsoft Award and certifications. That's what I am. Um, well, this was something from the past where I got to certify in a Microsoft Office space this certifications as well. So just adding it into the slides. Uh, Recently, we finished Microsoft Ignite. Uh, so Microsoft Ignite is Microsoft's developer and IT professionals conference, which goes deep down to level, not just level 100 or 200, but until up to level 400 content is delivered. And I was glad that I was speaking in this global Microsoft's annual global conference for the first time into two different sessions. Um, so yeah, like I said, I also lead one of the Microsoft community in Nepal, that is Nepal Cloud Professionals, which is part of Azure Technical 222 Azure technical communities worldwide as well. So I don't want to be going into the details of this, but just trying to mention that I think this gives a bit of a background on what it really takes to be a Microsoft MVP. But there's no single way to become a Microsoft MVP. Like, there could be many ways. Like, I think many of you have already done a bit of research on what it takes to be a Microsoft MVP. For example, okay, one of the ways could be like contributing codes to projects, right? You can create projects and contribute codes to Microsoft, to repos, and share with others, help others in different ways, right? But definitely in terms of technology interventions, it has to be. So the other way could be by creating content. Today, because of COVID, there's no way you can meet people face to face and provide mentorships. However, thanks to Microsoft Teams like applications, uh, today, and today we are having this online TLE Teams Live events as well because of Teams, and we are able to interact. We are able to deliver this sort of content, and so you could be involved in creating contents as well. Whether you create a video content, whether you want to write a blog, or there could be other ways as well. But simply put, by creating content as well, and then not just about creating content, but sharing to your audience. Who are your audience? Mainly your audience are local people in your community, in our community. For me, my community is mainly Nepali IT and developer professionals, of course, right? So, and there could be other way, like for example, providing feedbacks to Microsoft, right? There could be different ways you can engage with Microsoft in Microsoft programs, and you could be providing feedback to Microsoft to improve the products or the programs. But basically, it has to be around Microsoft products. So with this, maybe because there are, I said, like I said, there are multiple ways to become a Microsoft MVP. I don't know if you have checked out Microsoft's official website, which is mvp.microsoft.com. From there, you could actually be, look into some of the sites there, which says, which talks about Microsoft MVP award categories, right? So you can be an MVP in one area or the other. You cannot be MVP in everything. So MVP is more about being not just about sharing your understanding, your knowledge, helping others, but of course it has to be uh, alongside your technical expertise. Like for me, my technical expertise is around Microsoft Azure, right? So I am a Microsoft MVP in Microsoft Azure category. So you might be wondering, some of you might be wondering, what other categories we have to becoming a Microsoft MVP. Then please do check out mvp.microsoft.com/MVP award page. Not exactly this URL, but you can definitely find it by going into mvp.microsoft.com. So, but just to let you know, other MVP categories could be Windows development, Office development, developer technologies, or data platform, artificial intelligence. So all of these are other Microsoft award categories, right? There are other categories as well, like cloud and data center management, enterprise mobility, Windows and developers, Windows and devices for IT, Office app and services, and of course business applications. So now, what topics these award categories cover is another important thing, because you might be saying that, or you might be trying to be a Microsoft MVP. However, you might not be caring what really topics that you need to focus into, right? Suppose you are trying to be a Microsoft MVP in business applications area, then there are certain product portfolio that you need to target around. Like for example, when it comes to business applications, it is about Dynamics 365. It is about Power Apps. It is about Power Automate, PVA, which is Power Virtual Agents, right? But if it is about developer technologies, then all of the developer tools, frameworks that is under this category within Microsoft's listing. So so I think I wouldn't go into all of the details of what topics you can focus on within a certain category, because it's a huge thing. There are number of things. But yes, I think I would be really glad to take up questions around this. If you have any questions around award categories, award structure, or about award positioning, and so on. And another important thing, you might be trying to be a Microsoft MVP. However, you cannot apply to be an MVP by yourself. There's no form that you can fill by yourself. It works in a way that you need to be nominated by another person, and another person is none other than either a Microsoft MVP or a Microsoft FTE, which is Microsoft full-time employee, right? But as by yourself, you cannot make self-nomination for this program. So one of the suggestions for you, if you're trying to be a Microsoft MVP, then you should be closely working with either a FTE or a Microsoft MVP, so they can know you, they can understand your contributions in details, so they can nominate you to be a Microsoft MVP in the coming days. So I think with this, I want to break it here, and maybe if there's any questions, I would like to take up, and then maybe move forward. Maybe Joy might have some questions he wants to ask, or yeah, I think let's do that way. Over to you, Joy.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for the insightful value about the Microsoft MVP, which you have told. So there is a question, sir. So being a MVP will get an internship or a job at Microsoft. So is that is the thing?
Okay, so the question is, being a Microsoft MVP, will it ensure internship at Microsoft or a job at Microsoft, right? I think that is the question. If that is the questions, I would say there is nothing as such that says in written where, you know, being a Microsoft MVP, you can get an internship or a job at Microsoft. No. But, you know, first you need to understand that it might take several years for you to be a Microsoft MVP, because Microsoft, if you want to be a Microsoft MVP as a student, it is really difficult. I mean, literally, I would say not possible, because you need to have professional experience, professional engagements, and as a student only, you cannot be a Microsoft MVP, right? And if you, I think internships is more about for the students who are just graduating out of the college and so on. Now the other thing is, do I get a job at Microsoft? Well, that's another thing. I mean, depending on what career opportunities Microsoft opens, say, let's say that if Microsoft is looking for someone who has a deeper understanding about certain technology area, and maybe something around this, and if it matches your profile, then certainly you can be considered to be Microsoft can consider you more. But again, there's no written commitment from Microsoft that says, hey, as a Microsoft MVP, you will be invited to be a FTE as well. So I think it clears.
Yes, sir, continue.
Yeah. So I think Joy, is there anything else that you want me to add about or focus more into in any area about Microsoft MVP program?
So thank you, sir, for that. So can you say something about the Nepali Market MVP? So as Dipendra has told, there are 7 to 9 MVPs, and miss in comparison with other country. So in Nepal there is a less MVP. So why it is so? So can you just elaborate on that?
Oh, well, I think there could be some questions like this, which maybe I might not be the right person. Maybe because Olivia from Microsoft MVP program is also joining this meetup, this call. So maybe she is the better person to respond to this. But I mean, maybe just as per my understanding, uh, you know, what does it really take to be a Microsoft MVP? Is one, passion to technology, passion to learn and share, creating content, right? And having expertise in one of the technology area which Microsoft has structured in Microsoft MVP program, right? And if someone fits into all of these well, then definitely the person is a good candidate to be considered to be a Microsoft MVP, right? So now I think it itself answers to the questions why we have lesser number of MVPs, I would say. So see, what happens is, let's say someone is really passionate about sharing the knowledge in a particular Microsoft product domain, but if he's not doing much on the part of sharing that understanding with the local tech community, then I think something is missing out to be considered as a MVP candidate, right? But let's say that someone is really doing, let's say, creating a lot of content, but again, creating a lot of content, but the content is not reaching to the right audience, then again something is missing out, right? So I think it has to be a perfect blend of what Microsoft, looks for in candidates for to be considered as Microsoft MVP. That's one reason, I think. And I think I would leave this person to Olivia, so she can answer this more, I would say, because if Olivia was not here, maybe I would focus more into it. Yeah.
Sure. Sure, sir.
If you need local context from Nepal, I can answer.
Okay, sure, sir.
Okay, since it's been more than 10 years with Microsoft, and I've been so engaged to to promote the MVP program in Nepal from 1 to 9, right? It's itself a progress. If you look at the Southeast Asia new market, except for China and India, after Sri Lanka, Nepal is probably the second highest MVPs that we have in our country. We are ahead than Bangladesh. We are ahead than Myanmar. We are ahead than Cambodia. So we should be proud about that. However, yes, I kind of agree on with Pradeep, because the MVP program is not that easy as it used to be back then, right? Anyone could apply on their own, and the system would verify, vet whether they are how they are eligible or not. But now there's only two way to nominate MVPs. One, MVPs itself, which is it means there is only 7 people who could actually nominate, right? And or some of the Microsoft FTEs, those can nominate. So maybe that could be the reason that that's the one, which is kind of good, because we are focusing on the quality than the quantity. That could be the reason. Does that
Okay, sir.
answer?
Thank you. Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
sure. Sure. Yeah, so this is the insightful knowledge for the attendee also, who is now trying to be an MVP. So thank you, sir. Thank you, Pradeep, sir. Thank you, Deependra, sir.